note that, when there is opinions you can have in this course. So, and I'd love to hear all of your opinions. So as you learn more about these different forms of energy, as you learn more about solar, geothermal, wind, everything, you're going to have opinions and you're going
I can do
to have suggestions for what you think is best for the future and for everything. And I think that's why this course is so interesting and why it'll be so like engaging for all of you to do. So with that, like I said, my name's Summer. You should have my email by now. So, feel free to email me at any time. Basically, this course is going to be run in Cengage. So I'm going to show that in a minute here today. But with that, hopefully all of you were able to create an account. If you were not able to create an account, I'm going to quickly skim by that today. I'm going to show you how to access all of the content for this course. And yeah, so going forward, these hourly videos, I've decided I am going to basically, we're going to have discussions about different areas of this course in the Cengage content, and I will make it extra credit because I think that if you totally understand the content and you don't want to come to these like videos, then I'm not going to make you because I don't want to waste anyone's time. But also at the same time, I think that having discussions and hearing different viewpoints on things is beneficial. And so because of that, I'll add a couple extra credit points, maybe a point per class you attend of these. So I'll make sure to, note down who went to all of these. So we'll do that so I can see everyone. So yeah, I'm going to pull up the syllabus. So I actually just added this.
I don't know.
Today in JetNet. So
okay. I wasn't sure.
Oh, yep, I can see you.
Okay, can you see me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure because it said recording. I just didn't want it to record on my end.
Oh, no, you're good. Okay, sorry guys. I just want to pull up this screen. Here we go. Okay. Can you see the syllabus? Did the syllabus come up on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of run through this. So like I said, we're going to meet 7 to 8. I know that's late and I totally apologize. I work full time, so this is the only time I can do. But if you have any clarification questions, just let me know and I'd be happy to Zoom you individually. So just a couple of things, right here we have the course objectives. So at the beginning of this course, we're going to talk about the basics of energy, because I think before we talk about alternative energy, we need to know how energy is created now, and we need to know the pros and the cons and why we're trying to create alternative energy. Once we understand the basics, we're going to go into the different types of alternative energy. And then, because I thought it was interesting, we're going to talk about battery electric vehicles for a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the future of alternative energy. So, I think this course will be very beneficial. I think all of you are probably going into different career paths or are in different career paths. So hopefully you gain something to take with you with this course. I really do think it'll be beneficial, and especially too with sustainability. We're only becoming more sustainable and we're only using alternative energy more and more as time goes on and in the future. So definitely this is a great area to head and a great career path to go into because of the fact that we're only going to become, and it's more sustainable, essentially. So for the grading for this course, this is probably the key. So essentially when you log into Cengage, which I will show you in a minute, you will see that there are various different chapters and quizzes. So the only thing that you're graded on for this course is the Cengage quizzes. There are 13 total quizzes, which I will show you in a minute. And the sum of all those points is the total amount point possible for this course. So there's 325 points possible. So however many courses or however many points you get for this course divided by 325 will give me my total, your total course grade. And then, like I said, for this course, going to these will give you extra credit. So yeah, that's pretty much the only other thing I want to know for this course is one, Cengage is something totally new we're doing for this course. So this is actually a totally new course. With that being in mind, If there are any technological hiccups, I apologize. For one, I'm not entirely sure how you pay for Cengage yet. So you should have access until November 1st. But if you're signed up for like that Biblio something with Jackson College, I'm not sure if they're going to pay for it for you. Because from my understanding, I don't know how that works entirely because I know it's new. But so just bear with me there. I don't know if you're going to have to pay for, Cengage, like using like your debit and credit card information, or if you're gonna have to just use Biblio, but it hopefully will tell us November 1st or soon after how you pay for that, but I don't have the answer for that right now. So the other thing I want to note is this in bold right here. So like I mentioned, there are 13 quizzes to complete, each have varying between 15 to 26 multiple choice questions, so no short answers or anything like that. And then there's 14 chapters. So essentially there's a quiz for every chapter. And then I would advise you basically to complete 2 quizzes a week. So that will put you more than on track to finish, within the given time frame for this course. And also I think that hopefully is doable to do 2 quizzes a week. That's the only thing that you're going to be graded on. So hopefully it is not too
Are
difficult.
you able to get ahead on the quizzes?
Yep. So this is an entirely self-paced course, which it's definitely a benefit to all of you, but also it can be a negative if you save everything for the last minute. So yeah, if you want to get ahead and do all of this stuff in the first week and then just come on here when you want to discuss something interesting and get your extra credit, that's totally fine too. So whatever works for you. I recognize all of you probably have jobs, have, busy lives. So because of that, I don't set deadlines. I make this course self-paced. I don't require you to be on a meeting every single hour. If you can't meet during this time, I recognize that. So I'll record these as well. But yeah, and then if there's anything that's ever confusing to you, I'd be more than happy to meet any of you individually over Zoom. So I think that for this course,
Thank you.
of course, the Cengage chapter 1 is probably the most difficult. So that's when we're talking about like the basics of electricity. We're going to talk about fossil fuels and hydrocarbons and essentially how electricity is created using fossil fuels. That's what we're going to talk about at the beginning, and that material can be kind of challenging. So I guess bear with me for the first chapter. I think is probably the most boring. Once we get into these different alternative energies, I think it's really interesting. Also, I apologize if you hear my dogs. I have 2 dogs, so.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, of course.
Say you fail one of these quizzes, like say you don't get what you want. Is it possible to retake them, or is it just that's what you have?
I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. I hope so, because that would be great. If there's not, because this is a first time course, I like to believe I'm pretty easygoing. So, if all of you are struggling on the same quiz, I'll either drop that or give you guys extra points, things like that. So don't worry if there's something that's really challenging and everyone is having troubles with it. I'll make it fair to all of you. And then if there is something that's confusing to you, I can meet with you one-on-one too. So, but yeah, we can look into that when I'm gonna stop my screen now unless there's any other questions, and then open up Cengage for you all to show you kind of how this course is gonna be ran. So just give me 1 moment. Sorry, I'm almost there. Okay, so I'm hoping that all of you notice that in JetNet, there is a little information thing that shows with a link. And if you click on that link, you will be able to create your Cengage account. So hopefully all of you did that. If there's any questions on doing that, let me know, because you can't do anything unless you create your account. So anyone who's created an account, you're already on my roster now because you clicked on that link. So just to kind of, I'm going to share my screen.
May I speak up? Because actually we had the hiccup on that through the link. So you have to actually go to, if you go to like Google Chrome and type in Cengage and then log in through Cengage that way, then you can access the material because the link wasn't working for me.
Oh, the link wasn't,
I
okay,
had
I
the
would,
same exact problem.
Mhm.
okay, what did you, so you had to like type
Yes,
in
me
Cengage?
too.
How did you know how to get this content then? If you didn't,
We called Cengage.
oh, you called them, okay, I have two, I think I have an activation code, I know someone asked me about that, so if you still can't do it that way, let me know and I can give you an activation code, which hopefully will give you access to this material, but I'm glad you figured it out.
Well, we still will need an activation code after November 1st is what they're saying. Because right now it's like we can access the material until
Mhm.
November 1st. And then after that, it requires an access code.
Okay, I'm gonna email you guys all after this course, the activation code, if you don't mind typing it in and seeing if that works for you. That'd be
Okay.
great. So I know I have an activation code, but I don't know what it's get for, so I'll send that right away, just so, you know, because since November 1st is soon, I want to make sure we, you know, do that as soon as possible. So, yes, thank you. I
Yep.
will send that over right after we meet. So when you log in though, you should see this screen. This is just showing you the different weeks and how they're broken up. This doesn't show you any content. So I know that is confusing, but basically this is just kind of giving you a baseline for like how the weeks are ran. And then so you have a guideline for when this course ends. If you click right here where these three lashes or slashes are, this is where all the material is. So it looks like a lot, but it's not. On your end, you will see that this is just getting started with Cengage, so understanding the main components of this course. This first material here, so it's broken up into different parts. So we have part 1, which is essentially just your background. So it talks a little bit about the basics of energy, what energy is, how it's calculated. And then under each chapter, so we have a chapter 1 here that is our energy basics. So if you click on this, it'll open up the book. And then we have a chapter 1 quiz. So these are the quizzes that are counting towards your grade. I submitted one just to see if it would record, and it did. So when you click on this, so it'll show you start assignment now, and then you can click. So it says this will be your first take of this assignment. You're not limited in the number of times you can take the assignment. So you might be able to try it multiple times. So if you want to try that, go for it. But so that's basically how you can take the quiz. And then you'll see that like how the quizzes run. If I hit start assignment now, this one is a long one, but it has 29 questions. This looks like a scary problem, but it's not. It's just showing you the different scales for how you're calculating the 2 different energy scales. This is like one that probably is coming directly out of the book. You know, so I know these look like complicated problems, but they'll the textbook I think definitely is pretty helpful. And then if there's a couple that like you don't know or you're not getting right, send me an email and I'd be more than happy to go over those in these meetings or send you an email about them. So things like that. So and then you can hit submit for grading, and it's as simple as that. So those are, oh, okay, is this here's if you guys want to type in this, I'll leave this up for a minute. That's the course key I have, so maybe that is the one that you need, I'm hoping, right? So I'll leave that up if you guys want to look at that for a minute. Put that down.
Let me write it down real quick.
Actually, here, I'll put it in this chat too. That should. Maybe, I don't know how to put things in. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm copying and pasting this in the chat, so there we go. Okay, let's exit out of this. So again, this is entirely self-paced. So just bear in mind these quizzes. Anytime that you see quiz, those are the only things that are counting for your grades. You will see that there are video discussion questions. Just ignore those. Even if they're in the grade book, those are not counted towards your grade. Basically because I think that would be way too much work to have you do quizzes and discussions. So just do these chapter 1 quizzes that are multiple choice. Those are the only things that you're going to be graded on. So as you can see, like chapter 2 has a quiz. This one's 26 points. This one's 29 points, which means, you know, that I showed in the syllabus that there's 325 points possible. I got that by just adding together 29 plus 26 plus all of the rest of the quizzes. So just to kind of go a brief overview, we're going to talk about the basics of energy and, you know, how we've used energy in the past, the present, and the future. And then part 2 is really important. So that's when we're going to talk about fossil fuels and the burning of fossil fuels, which is how, you know, the main way that we're creating energy right now. So we'll talk about oil, natural gas, coal, which going kind of into next week, I'll talk more about the chemistry for all of those. So oil, gas, and coal are all considered hydrocarbons. So if you ever hear the word hydrocarbon, a hydrocarbon is just referring to a material that has hydrogen and carbons in it. So in the most basic level, oil, coal, and gas all have the same molecular components. They just have different amounts of hydrogen and carbon. And the reason that I'm bringing this up now is because I think this is a really, really interesting thing that a lot of people don't know. So we always hear that burning of fossil fuels is bad for the environment, right? But no one ever says why. Like, we just know it's bad, and then that's like, okay, the end of it. But the reason it's bad is because fossil fuels are hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons have hydrogen and carbon in them. And when we burn those, we're combusting them, or essentially what combustion means is we're breaking up that molecular structure. So when our hydrogen and carbon molecules are breaking up, we're left with just carbon and just hydrogen. And that carbon is bonding with the oxygen that's in the air to create CO2. And we know that CO2 is bad for climate change and bad for the environment. And that's ultimately why. So just a quick synopsis of fossil fuels and why they're bad. So it has to do with the fact that they're hydrocarbons, and when we're burning them, we're breaking that structure. That carbon then is not bonded with the hydrogen anymore, and it easily bonds with the oxygen that's in the air to create CO2, because CO2 is just carbon oxygen. So I think that's interesting. But so that's kind of, you know, how we create energy now. We'll talk more about that. But so that's what chapter 2 or part 2 is about. You know, it also talks about the environmental consequences of fossil fuel use. So as you can see that this chapter is talking about the greenhouse effect, climate change, and all of that is because of the fact that we're burning or combusting that hydrocarbon. So part 3 is about nuclear energy, but I didn't have you guys do that part because it would have, if I had to do all these sections, it would be too much, but I did part 4. So this is the main part of this course. So these chapters 8 through 16 are all sections that you'll see when you log into Cengage, and all of these will have like a quiz attached. So essentially all of these are different forms of renewable energy. Some of them you've probably heard of, some of them you probably haven't. So, you know, solar energy, you probably know a little bit about that, but this chapter is kind of going to go into that more. This is chapter 9 is going to be talking about electricity from solar energy. So those chapter 8 and chapter 9 kind of go together. And then we'll talk about wind energy, hydroelectric, which hydro just means water. So water power, wave energy, tidal energy. We'll go into essentially, you know, just we'll have a quiz for each of those. And then the last little bit, chapter 19, you'll take a short quiz on battery electric vehicles. So I just think that that's beneficial because that's an area and an industry that is going to be booming probably in the next couple of years. So I think it's nice to get a background in that. And then the last little bit here, there's no quiz for chapter 21. So if you don't want to look at this, you don't have to, but I just thought this was interesting to add. So just future prospects for how we're going to be using alternative energy in the future. So yeah, so like I said, that's kind of how your course is gonna be ran. I'll probably give you like a midterm grade like halfway through the semester in JetNet to kind of show you where you're at. But just yeah, so just hopefully all of you will have access to this. If you do not see these three dots in all of this material, please let me know by the end of tonight or tomorrow, because we definitely need to figure this out. Try that course key today, make sure that works so we don't lose access to this course November 1st. If I can do anything at all to help you, like from the administrative side, let me know. Cengage is pretty helpful if there's a technological issue that's happening, but if I can do anything, just let me know. But if not, I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I'll probably send an email, kind of like maybe like on Monday to let you know what I'm going to talk about in that week. So for next week, I'll probably talk a little bit more about part 1. So, we might have some discussions on how energy is created now and like the cons of that and the pros of that. So, and then going forward in other weeks, we will probably talk about renewable energy. But so yeah, I guess I know this was a short video, but I wanted to save some time for questions. So with that, are there any questions at all about how you're graded, how these hours are going to work, how Cengage works, anything at all?
I just had a question on the one that you said you were gonna leave out and went to part 4.
Oh yeah, of course.
Can we do the part 3 as like extra credit if we're already knowledgeable of it?
Oh, I don't know because it's hidden, but if I can figure out how to unhide it, I will.
Nuclear
But I'll
energy.
probably have an hour discussion on like one of these meetings over nuclear energy and what that entails too. But yeah, if I can figure that out, I will let you know, because I'd be happy to do that if I can.
Okay, I was just curious. So will it show hidden on our end?
It should, yes. So you shouldn't.
Okay, then I won't worry about it, so.
Yeah, it should show all of these on your end, but hopefully, I'm hoping you guys can all see everything. But
Yeah,
so yeah, so like I said, there's 13 quizzes. So just make sure you're doing 1 or 2 a week. It looks like you have multiple attempts for I forget which one of you asked that question, but so yeah, you should be good there too. So if you wanna, if you take a couple attempts and you're getting a ton wrong and you don't know, then we can in these hours talk about whatever's challenging. So, these hours are just beneficial to you, and whatever you think is going to be most beneficial, that's what I will talk about. So yeah, with that, it's great to meet you all. Like I said, my name's Summer. Feel free to email me if you have any questions at all about anything. But that's all I have. So any other questions?
One quick one. You said you worked for the government in the water waste department.
I work in drinking water, but yes.
What for the city or like the government?
Government.
Oh wow. I'm hopefully that's the career I want to go into. Is that
Oh, really? Yeah,
is working for the city or the government in the water department?
yeah, it's been, I actually just started about a month ago, and it has been absolutely incredible. I think I've learned a lot for sure, and I think that's why I loved, and I'm so excited to teach this course, is with water and with sustainability and with alternative energy. It's not going to go away, and we're always going to need people, so it's a great thing to go into, and it's a rewarding career too. I think that was like one of my main things, is like, I wanted to do something that was beneficial to society. So yeah, it's definitely, if you have any questions about like career paths too, let me know, because I love to talk about that too.
I'm hoping they work for the city of Jackson next year in the water waste department.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I actually, being an environmental engineer, there's 2 different sides. We talk about drinking water, and then we talk about wastewater. And when I first went to school, I was like so shocked because I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was learning about wastewater. Like, but it's so interesting. I mean, it really is. Like when you like look at like how we can literally turn like wastewater into, ultimately it goes into rivers and then we treat it for drinking water, and how it's just, like a cycle. It's definitely interesting. And there's a lot of different career paths within that. So
I looked into going to wastewater, but I didn't really like that division. I wanted to more go into the drinking water division because I look at it as like a human right that everybody should be allowed to have water on demand.
definitely, yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I definitely like drinking water the most because I agree that it's definitely a human right, and there are, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with drinking water unless, everyone has to be on the same page and everyone has to know the chemistry behind it and the physics behind it. So yeah, I totally agree. And even looking at like, I'm from Flint actually, so that was a main reason that I work in drinking water, is because, I recognize like things like water when it goes wrong, something as little as, they didn't add the right corrosion control can be detrimental to society. So it's definitely interesting for sure to go into water and to go into alternative energies. I mean, likewise, like when talking about things like this, like when we talk about solar energy, something I'll bring up a lot is, solar energy is incredible, like what we can do with that. But at the same time, like a lot of people don't think about the fact that solar panels in itself, they're made out of tellurium, but when they burn, it can actually create like, they can emit toxic chemicals when they burn out. And that going to MSU, one of my sustainability professors, that's actually what she spent years doing research in, was basically trying to figure out when those burn up, what percent of solar panels or what amount of toxic chemicals is getting emitted into the atmosphere. So there's definitely a lot to kind of, I think alternative energy, I think this course, there's a lot that like we can all discuss, and hopefully I'll learn things from all of you too, and your opinions on how everything is. Because I think with the reason that we talk about so many different types of alternative energies is the fact that there isn't one right answer or we'd be doing it, right? I mean, there's pros to wind energy, there's pros to geothermal energy, but there's also cons. So my goal for this course is to hopefully talk about both of them from an educational standpoint, but then let you all give your opinions on what you think, because I think that's important as well. So yeah, any other questions? No.
No, I'm good.
Okay, well, it was great to meet you all. I really hope that this class is informative for you and is beneficial to you. So with that, enjoy your week. I'll hopefully, I think I sent that in the chat, but I'll send you an email with that code if you want to type that in. But make sure you can get access to Cengage and get started on the quizzes. So, and reading, of course. And I'll see you next Thursday.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you all. Have a nice night.
Thank you.